What is that? You filming yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do some stuff. I just got this recently, so yeah, kind of neat, huh?
That's fun.
Isn't that neat?
Oh,
All right, so
fancy.
basically, what today is about, and you saw some of the emails that I came, but it's really about jump-starting your production and getting you going and doing some things. And it really kind of comes down to the simple process that I took myself through. And I'll kind of tell you my story of why and where I'm at and what I'm doing in this. But this is just something really simple that I just kind of put out here. You know, I'm gonna ask you like 5 questions. If you guys could take a little time and kind of jot it down, and we'll kind of share some of those answers, and then we'll go into the purpose of my story and then why we do what we do with this. So, you know, a lot of times you're asking like, what can I do to jumpstart my business? What can I do to get it going right now? And the bottom line is lead generation. There's no way around it. There's no other simple pill you can take or anything like that. It's all about lead generation. But for some people, it's coming up with a lead generation strategy that's just a little bit new for you, or a little bit outside the box. So this program is designed for one goal in mind, and that is to get productive in 30 days. That's the goal. It's just about productivity into there. So before we get to the next step, you know, the first question I want to ask you guys is, what is it that you're trying to accomplish this year? You know, what is the one thing you're trying to accomplish this year? You know, just kind of jot down where you're trying to think you're going to go. What do you think it would take to double your business or your happiness this year? What would it take? And then the third question, what frustrates you the most about the business in your life right now? What's frustrating you? There's stuff there. There's gotta be. And then the fourth question is, what have you already tried to do to improve your situation? You know, your situation could be that you just don't have any business. What have you done to make that change? And then what worked and what didn't work? As you're writing some of those down and going through that, and I'm gonna kind of go into my story of how I kind of developed and what this little tiny group coaching program is really about. My first year in the business, I was engaged. I was getting married that year. We bought our first home, our condo together, and moving in, and I needed to make this business work. Didn't have much of a choice. This is where I wanted to be. I worked my tail off. I had what I felt was a very successful year. I wrote 2.7 million in production. My first year, I closed 1.8. So I had 750,000 fall apart. Of that 1.8 that I closed, with the splits and everything with the company that I was on, with the training program and all the stuff that they had, I made $18,000 my first year in the business. I sat there and looked at that and I was ready to cry. I was like, what is going on here? I left this job to come do this, and I'm married, want to start a family, and I worked my tail off and I made $18,000. Something's got to give. And I sat and I had an emotional moment. I was like ready to throw in the towel and move on to something new. And I basically was like, no, there's got to be a better way of doing this. So I went into the office and I just basically said, you know, I was there, I was doing things, but I wasn't purposeful about where I needed to be. I was just going through a lot of the motions. I was running with everyone, doing all kinds of things. I wasn't qualifying the buyers. I wasn't lead generating the right way. I wasn't really treating this like it's something I had to go to work and do and build a business. So my next year, by putting these strategies into place that I'm going to share with you, I doubled my business. I did like 3.7 my next year, and it kept going. I didn't have as much fallout. I didn't have as much stuff happening. I started working with the motivated. But really what happened was I walked around the office during that gloomy week of mine where I was thinking of throwing in the towel, and I was watching what successful people were doing. And what they were doing, different than me, was they were talking to more people. That was it. They didn't know the business better, they weren't better looking, they didn't have more people that they knew. They probably were better looking, but they just didn't have all this stuff behind them. And I just looked at that one day and went home and said, if these guys are making a buck with what I have behind me, I can make two. So I just went to work and focused on it. And what it boils down to is action. And that's the one thing that I can control. All the other stuff in this business I can't control. I can't control the market, I can't control interest rates, I can't control what people have a job or don't have a job, I can't control if they have equity in their home or don't, I can't control how much money they make versus what they want to spend. I can't control any of that. I can't control the weather, but I can control my daily activities that lead me to a paycheck. And that's what I focused on every day. And I broke it down to the very simple. And the simplest thing was I needed one appointment a day that I could either meet with someone that could enter into a listing agreement or a buying agreement, or could refer business to me. That was my focus. And that's all I cared about, was talking to enough people to get that one appointment. And when you get that one appointment, now you can start building leverage and you start building a business, and you've earned the right to take the time off that you want to take off. And that's what this business is about. We all entered it because we wanted flexibility. You can't have flexibility until you've earned it. And when you have enough behind you, you can earn it. And you have to focus on what it is you need out of the business. So your one appointment a day, maybe one appointment a day, 2 days a week to net you what you want. It may be one appointment a day, 5 days a week. It may be 3. I don't know. I don't know what type of money and what you're trying to look for. But one appointment a day for me is what I wanted to go to. And I broke it down so simple that I felt I could have a conversation with someone who wasn't in this business, telling them what my goal is, and they would look at me and go, that's all you have to do to make money? And it really is that simple. It's just how you look at it. If you look at it like it's a mountain, it's tough. If you look at it like it's just one thing, it's not that tough. That one appointment with our average sale price, if you had one appointment a day, you had a 50% conversion rate in the people you meet with that can actually sign a contract with you or refer business to you, and then 50% of those people actually can get to a closing table, you're going to make $360,000 a year at our average sale price. One appointment a day. Basically about $6,000 in income per appointment. If you look at the potential of money that you're leaving on the table by not talking to people daily, it's staggering. Downright staggering. So what this program is about getting you into action. It's about trying to build a habit. And what we've got on here on the next page is basically what your next 4 weeks are going to look like. And it's a way of getting a group of people together and getting them into action, getting them to do what's uncomfortable so that they can be comfortable. First week, basically it's just about getting you into a schedule and into a routine and treating this portion like a job. I want to really start focusing on coming in and doing work. So the very first thing is you come into the office 9 o'clock and you take 1 hour break during that time frame for lunch, and you work until 4 the first week. It's just about conditioning yourself to go to work. And then each day of that week, we're looking at things a little bit differently. The first day, your goal is just to get one person to talk to you about moving, or about real estate, or about getting educated in the market, or about asking for referrals. Try to make it very, very simple, because this is really built and based on the brand new agent. Because that's where I went back to square one in order to get to where I wanted to go, because if I kept doing what I was doing, I wasn't going to get there. So I went back and treated myself like I was starting over. And that's what I want you to do. Start over and just get into conversation. Day 2 is concentrating on your sphere of influence. Talking to people you know. Just basically calling people that are already in your phone. And having real estate conversations about getting referrals and seeing if they know of anyone who's interested in buying or selling or investing in real estate. Don't ask them directly. Ask them who they know. Tell them you need their help. Lots of times when you don't ask them directly, they will say it's them that needs help. But when you ask them directly, they say no, and that question's over. So you can't go any further with it. Day 3 is focusing and working on expireds. Calling and working on expireds, coming through and breaking through the hurdle of how do I get the phone numbers? How do I do this? Go knock on their doors if you have to. Just get out there and do it. Day 4 is about focusing and working on for sale by owners. And day 5 is calling around your competitors' new listings or listings that have sold in the areas. Just because that's where people are buying and selling, call that area. Try to educate them on what's happening. You'll see homes pop up in the same area over and over again. You know, if you're going to go fishing, you go where the fish are biting. You don't go try to find your new place in the lake. Chances are you're not going to get what you want. So the next 3 weeks after that, it starts to scale back. That is, you're basically committing to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I really want you to commit every day of the week. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is coming into the office. Every day of the week is communicating and doing what you need to do. But on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it starts off with an 8 o'clock call. And that actually starts on the week 1, but we'll go and talk a little bit more. But there's an 8 o'clock call. I have a conference line call. Everyone calls in at 8 o'clock, and they go through and give their numbers. And basically what they're reporting on is how many contacts they made, how many appointments they set, how many contracts they wrote, and what is their goal for the upcoming day of contacts and appointments. It's just getting you in the habit of becoming accountable to what it is you're trying to do. It's not built there to say, okay, wow, we're killing it in week 1. And you saw the numbers. The first week wasn't all that great compared to what the next week is. And I'm curious to see where they're going to be at this week. But every week they should be moving forward and getting it done. So it starts off with that. Then it's coming into the office at 9 o'clock. The reason for the 8 o'clock call is to get you into action early. If you're up and moving to get on a phone call, it's easy for you to continue to get ready to go into the office. So that's the portion for that. And then you'll come into the office and you can pick any of the 5 things that you went through or the 4 things that you went through the week before, whatever your strength was, wherever you were gaining traction, spend some time there. Don't give up completely on the others, but when you're good at something, spend more time in what you're good at than in a lot of time in what you're bad at. And that week, weeks 2 through 4, is you earn the right to stop your lead generation when you get 1 appointment set. So when you have your 1 appointment set for the day, you can either say, I'm done and I'm going to move forward with the other stuff that I have to do today, or I'm going to stay in the groove and keep calling and keep lead generating. That's a choice you make. But I don't want you giving up until you have your 1 appointment. Because that's the goal. Nothing else matters if you don't have appointments. And in my previous company, we had a little mantra that we said all the time. And that was, if you weren't on an appointment today, what did you really do? And I want you to kind of program that in your head. If you weren't face to face with somebody today, what did you really do? Because that's this business. It's a relationship building business. The more people you can talk to, the more people you get in a relationship with, the more business you can do. So your commitment you're making is, you show up every day on time. You show up to move forward. It's not going to be simple. You're going to have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough. This is going to be tough. You're going to have moments of this that you're going to be listening to your drunk monkey and you're not going to put your time in. You're going to come up with some other excuse of why you can't do this. It's normal. You have to keep pushing. That's why it works really good as a group, because you're on that call every day, you're talking about what's going on, you're talking about your struggles, and you know the person across from you is dealing with the same thing you're dealing with. They may be getting more traction and more numbers, but it'll help you because you can speak to them, you can find out what they're doing, how did they push through it, but they had the same problem you had at some point. Remember, this is something I've done, it's something a lot of people have done. I've been there, I know what you're gonna go through. It doesn't just start off easy. You gotta put in the time and the work. You gotta earn the right to go out and do it. You gotta grind in order to have what it is you wanna have. And this just forces you to get into action. So it's a 30-day commitment. And I promise you, if you do what we're asking you to do, and you allow yourself to be coachable, and you allow yourself to be accountable to the group and to myself, you will see results out of this. I promise you. But if you find ways to circle around it, to guard it, to come up with excuses, you won't. You know, and they hear me say it every day on the call. You can have excuses or results. You can't have both. So once they start giving me excuses, we start to put a wall up around that excuse and start moving forward, because that's the only thing holding them back is the excuse. There's really nothing else. And my commitment is that I'm there for you. I'm there. I do the call every morning on it, no matter where I'm at. I do it. It only runs in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the size of the group. And I'm there all day to kind of support you. We have a group chat that we have through WhatsApp, and everyone's communicating, going back and forth, sending inspirational stuff or what's going on in their day. It's just about keeping you moving forward and making a commitment in front of the group. So that's kind of the program. So within there, I've given you a book of scripts. These are Mike Ferry scripts. You can go on his website, download them all for free. They're proven scripts and proven strategies on how to get conversion in what you're looking to do. So it gives you a little bit of a roadmap to do. Just remember that successful people do this kind of stuff. So follow the advice of what successful people do. Do not follow and take advice from the people that struggle in this business. The people that struggle in this business are going to tell you that they don't like scripts, they don't like making phone calls, they try to make up their own way of talking to people, and then you see what their results are. Successful top agents are script oriented, and they use proven strategies and scripts. When you get to know the dialogue that needs to be said, you find ways to step outside of that script because you know the dialogue. Right now, don't change it. This is a map to success. You can follow a map that you have in front of you, and you're going to get the results that you get. Use this map, okay? And it sounds awkward, but it only sounds awkward to you because you don't know the words. The people on the other end of the phone don't know any different. Look at what some actors make on a yearly salary to make a movie. $20 million to learn a script, and we fight it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's what we do. So you have at your arsenal all of this, but bottom line is this course is designed to get you into action. It's to get you a little bit uncomfortable, to get you to move forward a little bit, and just measure every day that you're taking one step closer to your goals. It's not, this is a journey to get yourself productive in 30 days. It's not an event. It's not going to happen on the first day. You're going to have more traction on the first day than you did, but your week 2.5 to like 3.5, that's where you're going to start seeing a little bit of momentum starting, because you got to build that foundation. Then you got to concentrate on what you're trying to do in order to get the momentum. And that's the phase that we're going to be in. Remember, it's going to take you about 30 days to build a habit, and it can take 1 day to destroy it. So when you get this into your schedule, I want you to be focused on keeping this in your schedule. If it's in your schedule, it exists. If it's not in your schedule, it's just a dream. So if you're telling me you're lead generating, you're doing this, and I look at your schedule and there's nothing in it, and I know you're not doing it. And that's the bottom line. Okay?